What's up, YouTube? This is Chris B, otherwise known as Bystander X79, and time to look at my computer again. We're doing a Banlist prediction wishlist discussion video today. Alright? So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into this. I'm going to scroll this down and see if we can get a little bit more. Alright, the first card that I think is going to be banned on next list, Droll and Lockbird. In my opinion, Droll and Lockbird is more powerful than Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is a hard once per turn. It may have a lot more triggers, but to be honest, it can be shrugged off. And there are a lot of people that are starting to wake up and actually become disenchanted with Ash, realizing that it can be shrugged off like that. Droll and Lockbird, on the other hand, shuts down a turn because basically it prevents you from drawing or adding cards to your hand. Alright? With that being said, it should be banned. If you don't believe me, go to your decks, take out the Ash Blossoms and replace them with this card, and play the deck with Droll and Lock, and you'll see what I mean. Okay? Next card on my list, scroll back a little bit, is Phoenician Cluster Amaryllis. Now the reason why I'm hitting this card is because it's the center of a FTK in the OCG. Eventually we're going to be getting both the Plant Link and Needle Fiber, which is going to enable this FTK loop to happen. If you don't know what it does, basically the FTK loop fills your graveyard with up to 10 different plant monsters and Amaryllis. You loop until you form Top Level Bobber Dragon, then you use Amaryllis' effect to bring it back. When you do that, you inflict your opponent with 800 damage. You bring it back to the zone the Topological is pointed to. Topological's effect activates nuke the field, puts this guy back in the graveyard, and then you keep repeating until you basically wipe your opponent's life points out. With the way TCG Konami handles FTK OTK decks, I see this card getting hit on the next list. Alright, speaking of FTK and OTKs, we gotta do something about the Pendulum FTK, and that's independent. That's Little Less Independent Nightingale. This thing is the center of the Pendulum FTK. It needs to go. I'm sorry, it's gotta go. I believe in balancing out Pendulum Magicians. They're not a bad deck, but allowing them to side into an FTK, no. That cannot happen. This has to go. Alright, next card that needs to go, and this is one of the more it's about time hits, is Gem Knight, Seraphim Knight, because basically I am kind of sick at seeing the Brilliant Fusion engine being put into decks just to get an extra normal summon, when there is actually a spell card that does the same thing, and it only costs you 3 slots out of your extra deck, out of your main deck. The Brilliant Fusion engine requires at least 5 on your main deck and 2 to 3 out of your extra deck. It's just not good card economy. It's been crammed into so many things for so long. Think about how long it took Konami to do something about the Speedroid engine. This is another thing that has to go. Banning this. And the Brilliant Fusion engine. And let's just move on. Next card. Now you're probably thinking that this is a weird card for me because I am a true Draco player, but yeah, Dragonic Diagram. This needs to turn around and be banned here in the TCG. It's already banned in the OCG. And I'm going to tell you why. If anybody's seen my January wish list, I had this card hit as well. Part of the reason is that this card is too splashable in a lot of different decks. And in those decks, it gives those decks access to powerful boss monsters, whether it be Masterpiece or even the true King monsters. To be very honest, the stat boost, 300 attack defense, not that bad. The first time each tribute summon True Draco or True King monster would be destroyed by battle each turn, it's not destroyed. That could be problematic because then your opponent's got to be wasting so many resources to turn either to attack over or get that monster off the field with an effect. The main reason is the last one where you pop a card and search a card. So many decks with destruction effects use this card as an engine. It just needs to go to 1. With it to 1, I think we can balance the meta out just a little bit more. Okay. Plus, with it gone, we can actually Konami can actually do some other things with True Dracos. All right, now next card. You're probably surprised about this, but terraforming. Yeah, I hate terraforming, and the primary reason why I hate terraforming is just to keep decks that are dependent on their field spells just a little bit more honest. I mean, to be very frank, search a field spell, activate a field spell, and then having to turn around and get us in the search, it's just not good for the game. Banning this card would actually turn around and make those decks a little bit more, like I said, a little bit more honest. And it's one of those about time type of hits. And I can tell you right now from experience, I've actually have tested other field spells in True Dracos, and this card just enables them to access it, so making them draw into it is a bit better. Alright, on to limited cards. This is no surprise. I think a lot of people see this card picking up a hit, Astrograph Sorcerer. It just allows you to do so much in a Pendulum deck. Cloning cards, getting extra negations in Pendulum Magicians. I don't see it being banned. I see it being around at 1. 1 is not that bad. I mean, let's face it. I think at 1 it balances the Pendulum Magician deck a little bit better. Our next card is Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm. This card was limited in the OCG. I could actually see it getting hit here in the TCG as well. Just to turn around and help balance out both Pendulum Magicians in all versions. This card just does way too much for the deck. It should go to 1. If you've played against it, you know what I'm talking about it. Alright. Now, speaking of things going to 1, I hit Diagram, but I'm also putting Masterpiece the True Draco Slaying King on as 1. Primary reason is that without Diagram, this card becomes a heck of a lot less splashable, excuse me, than before. But it is still problematic because it becomes immune to the various effects of what you use to tribute summon it with. So by putting it at 1, you're not taking away a powerful boss monster from True Dracos, but you are putting it at 1, and it becomes a little bit harder, since now you have to turn on either draw into it or utilize Magic Minion to get it into your hand. Of course, with Diagram at 1, we need to turn around and have access to... True Draco players should have access to all their cards through effect search, and that's why I could safely say with Diagram gone and Masterpiece at 1, they can actually bring Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter, back to 1. For one thing, without the field spell, it stays at 2,500. You're only going to be searching one trap per turn, or activating 1 trap per turn from the deck. Not that bad to actually have this guy in the deck again, just to make the things a little bit easier. Alright. Next card, this is another card that should have been hit a while ago. Soling over up there, the card has to be put at 1. It does way too much for dinosaur decks, as it is. It's got 3 insanely powerful decks. I mean, 3 insanely powerful effects. It's limited in OCG. It should be limited over here. Get on it. Let's just do this. Alright, now the one card I actually do see coming off the list, especially if they balance Pendulum Magicians very well, is Heavy Storm. Primary reason why I like Heavy Storm over things like Harpy's Feather is because Heavy Storm actually hits both players. It destroys all spell and trap cards on the field, so both players take the hit. I think it's a little bit more fair and balanced. With that being said, I know we just got alternate version of Giant Grenade, Hate Grenade, but it only affects set cards, and your opponent can still chain to those effects. To be very honest, bringing back Heavy Storm just to help balance the game, giving players a turn 2 out to Pendulum boards wouldn't be that bad. Alright. Now, one other card that needs to go. Other board wipes have been limited. Evenly Matched is a board wipe. I mean, seriously, at the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you control, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field face down so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand, which basically makes it like a spell card. I'm sorry, this card... I'm sorry, without any other restrictions on this card, activating it from the hand is just way too powerful of an effect. Because you can just turn around and, yeah, skip doing anything in your main phase, go into your battle phase, end your battle phase, drop this card, wipe your opponent's board to 1 card. I'm sorry. The other board wipes are limited. Like I said before, all the board wipes are limited. This card needs to join them. One other card that I think should be limited, and this is a hit. This is a hit to Trickstars. Is Trickstar Reincarnation. I think it's just too much of a good card for the deck. I mean, banishing your opponent's entire hand, and then being able to resurrect the Trickstar monster in your same turn, just way too good. Being at 1 is not that bad. I mean, Trickstar still can do what they do. It's just going to be less frequently. Alright, so on to the semi-limits. First card here, and this is a hit to the Plant Engine. The primary reason why I'm putting this card down to 2 is because we really don't want to see the Plant Engine become another insane loop engine. We've already went through that with Firewall Dragon and Spirals. I really don't want to see that happen with Plants, and the Plant Engine picking up another series of hits on the list again. Semi-limiting this card is not a bad idea. It allows the Plant Engine to do what they do, but it's not going to be so much that it's going to be insane. Alright. And with... Now, another thing is that I also brought back Ignis Heat, the True Draco Warrior. And the primary reason why I brought him back at 2 is basically because... Dynamite Knight can come back to 1, this guy can come back to 2, just to turn around and help give the deck a little of the lost speed back. I mean, 2400 without the boost is still 2400. You can easily get over it. Alright, and some more hits to True Dracos and card demise. I mean, I think a lot of people say this card should be at 2. Some people think it is 1. I think 2 is best. Draw 3, set, pass. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if you have monsters in your hand, you have to discard them, but still, it's at 2 is fine. And the last card I put at 2 was actually another hit to True Dracos, True Draco Heritage. Continuous spell, adds extra normal summon, tribute summon to your turn. Yeah, you can pop spell and trap. Popping spell and trap is not that bad. But the main thing is this draw power, depending on how many cards you send to the graveyard. Spell trapping monsters of True Dracos. Yeah, it depends on how many cards you draw. With this at 2 and Diagram gone, becomes less of an issue. So we don't have to put it at 1, but we can put it at 2. Alright? So that's what I think should be hit on the next upcoming ban list. Of course, these are all my opinions. If you feel that I missed cards, commented on what, or put things in the wrong area, whether they should ban, limited, please let me know in the comments. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe, ring the notification bell, become part of the squad. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.